What's up, guys? My name is William. I'm a classic car dealer from Germany, and I've been doing classic car content in German for the last 1.5 years, but I thought I'd just switch it to English. I lived in the UK for 7 years, and it's just such an international market. I'm on the road so often anyway, so might as well do it in English. So welcome new English viewers, English-speaking viewers around the world, hopefully. I wanted to show you a car that I bought recently. This beautiful story unfolded around me and around this car. Ferrari 400i, so the mid-generation or the third generation of this kind of shape, starting with the 365 2+2, going into the 400, and this the 400i, so fuel injected rather than carbureted. Really nice spec, black on tan, very classical. It's a very understated Ferrari, which back in the day didn't really exist and still kind of doesn't exist. The first automatic Ferrari of all time, 3-speed American gearbox actually. But I looked at the history of this car and there was a name that just popped out on me. The first owner of this car was Didier Pironi. And I think the seller kind of didn't really know what he had there, but Didier Pironi was a Formula 1 driver and a Le Mans overall champion. He actually raced for Ferrari, bought this car whilst he was still racing for Tyrrell. 1 year before he then got actually picked up by Enzo Ferrari himself. They had a really good relationship because he was actually quite a cool guy apart from being a fast driver. Yeah, started racing for Ferrari in 1982, 1 year after he bought this car. So the history of this car is really special. He actually drove this 2 Ferrari races where he raced in a Ferrari Formula 1 car and he drove in his own Ferrari 400i. Before we talk about this amazing Didier Pironi story, which I've just been obsessing over, the car itself. First automatic Ferrari ever, and also a very subdued design. As I said, it's not really this shouty, loud Ferrari. The colors that it got delivered in were mostly not red. They were mostly subdued colors: blue, blacks, grays, silver. You don't see these cars in red that often. Here it says 400i automatic. There's around 900 of these in this spec, in this configuration, 400i automatic. So also quite a rare car. Up here we have a 4.8 liter V12 producing around 310 horsepower, 392 newton meters of torque. Power comes in around 6,500 RPM, so quite a powerful engine, mated to a 3-speed American gearbox. That 3-speed does kind of swallow a lot of the performance, but I think for this car it just suits it a bit better, and because it's the first automatic Ferrari ever, I think historically these automatic versions are a bit more important than the manual ones, which obviously drive a bit sportier. It wears its Pininfarina badge really proudly, and it can, because this design actually is one of the most successful designs Ferrari ever did, because it actually survived over 4 generations: 365, 400, 400i, and 412, and so it is probably one of the longest built designs Ferrari ever did. So who actually was Didier Pironi? I think it's an overlooked racing driver, and after my research now, I don't really understand why, because he was extremely successful and an extremely interesting man. He started off studying engineering. He was French born, and his half-brother was actually also a racing driver. Started studying engineering and then went to a racing school at Paul Ricard, where he then earned a scholarship to drive the Formula Renault. So that was kind of his start into racing. He went on to win a lot of championships in the Formula Renault, which moved him up to Formula 2, where he placed 3rd, and then got picked up by Tyrrell for his Formula 1 debut at the Grand Prix of Argentina. That was his start into Formula 1. He then, in 1982, got picked up by Ferrari after gaining interest from Enzo Ferrari himself, which marked the car. He bought this car 1 year before. In the 1982 season, he was actually partnered with Gilles Villeneuve, who was faster in qualifying but wasn't as steady in the races, which meant that Pironi was actually leading the 1982 season because of a controversial win in San Marino, where he pretended like he was going to finish behind him and then actually pulled out in the last second, overtaking him, which meant Villeneuve was not speaking to Pironi ever again. until he had a very bad crash at the German Grand Prix where he actually broke both of his legs, kind of prematurely ending his Formula One career. In 1986, when he was able to walk unassisted again, he actually tried to make a comeback to F1, testing with a couple of teams and actually proving to be fast enough still. But there was a problem with his insurance. Because he had a career-ending injury, he got a big payout, meaning he would need to pay that back once he started racing again. He really tried to make a couple of deals. At the end, it proved to be too difficult to return to F1, meaning he then actually turned to powerboat racing, which led to his death in 1987 in an offshore race near the Isle of Wight. I was really curious on how this big Ferrari handles, and when we picked it up in Austria, we actually went for a drive. So come with us. All right, you've learned a little bit about me. I do special shit, basically. I try to find the most special cars that I can find for good prices. In this case, the history is the price of this car. Didier Pironi, absolute legend. Not a lot of people know about him. I'm really excited that we've got this car. I think provenance is something that you can't really fix. You can always repaint a car, you can always fix a car, but you can never get back this kind of history. You've learned about the car already. You learned about Didier Pironi. You've learned about me. And now I think we should just drive the thing. It's the first automatic Ferrari ever. It's got a 4.8 liter V12, 310 horsepower, 392 Newton meters of torque. Let's see if all these horses are still there. We're in beautiful Austria right now. Just picked up the car. So let's get in, hear some sound, and give you some driving impressions. Let's go. Oh, the sound of V12 goodness. We actually bought this car for a really great price, and I'm really excited about this history. I'm setting the scene right now. I feel like a 80s Formula One driver in his Ferrari. So Didier Pironi was a Ferrari works driver, a vice world champion, Le Mans winner, and I'm sitting in his seat. He bought this car brand new back in the day whilst he was racing with Ferrari, which I think is just super special. And that's the kind of feeling that you get just sitting in this car. I feel legendary already, which I already am, obviously, as well. Okay, before we start, quick stationary sound check. Let's go. We're waking up some Austrians here, some sleepy Austrians. We've got some beautiful roads here. I'm gonna stick it in first. We've got a bit of a spark plug issue, I think, which I need to fix when I come home. But let's talk about how this car handles. First of all, this car is on the wrong side of 1,800 kilos, so it's 1,850 kilos, which seems like a lot, but then we have a proper four-seater. When new, this had 310 horsepower. The carbureted versions of this, so the 400, had 320. This is the fuel-injected one. It's supposed to have less problems, but they actually don't really. It doesn't really make a big difference. These cars are quite expensive to maintain. Obviously, big 12-cylinder Ferrari. Everything's going to be expensive, but they are extremely cheap to buy right now. I would say with this provenance, this is a very original car. It was repainted once, but everything has actually, I think, beautiful patina. The seats are beautifully patinaed. The steering wheel isn't brand new, but everything works, which is rare on a vintage Ferrari. This is the first, probably one of the first Ferraris which was purely developed for comfort and for fast cruising, which I find actually in today's modern age really appealing. Oh, it still does sound good, doesn't it? And it does grip quite well. Similar engine to a Daytona, similar power, a bit less power than a Daytona. The Daytona weighs about 1,500 kilos, so it's a bit lighter, but the driving dynamics are supposedly pretty similar. It does weigh 300 kilos more, but again, a Daytona is not a back road
chuckable little thing. It's still the lorry under the Ferraris, and this is kind of a similar experience. In 1980, what else did you have that was comparable? You obviously had Rolls Royces, you had Bentleys, maybe the odd Mercedes or two, but this is just such a different badge, and with that comes a different feeling. And there's a reason why the Didier Pironi bought this car. It's because it kind of gives you the best of both worlds. It gives you that really sporting badge with a similarly comfortable experience to a Bentley or a Mercedes, a big Mercedes of the time, which I found today really appealing. Nice large steering wheel. I think today steering wheels are too small and too thick in most cases. This is nice and thin. Aluminium steering wheel, looks beautiful from Momo. Thin rimmed, which I really like. That's what I love about Rolls Royces as well. It's just, you just have a thin rim to grab onto. Pause. So like, I think first of all we bought it because of the provenance. My company is called Collective Motion, so it's all about the most collectible cars that you can find. I'm still starting off, obviously. I've been doing this for about 2 years now, and I really try to find those rare examples. This isn't in perfect condition, I'm aware of that, but in a couple of really good hands, and it is purely original, nothing restored, but that history you can never restore that history, and I think that is, for me, that's always the most important thing. And I can just imagine, Didier Pironi pulling up to a Formula One race in this and just looking the business. By the way, give us a follow if you like content like this, and also if you're an American viewer, if you like cheap cars, because right now I've noticed there's a huge arbitrage possibility between Europe and America, because this kind of car with this kind of provenance would probably go for maybe 120 to 150,000 US dollars in America, and here it's a 70, 80 grand car. So if you're interested in buying stuff like this from Europe, I think I've got a shipping quote from Lufthansa. You can get a car over for between 10 and 15 grand. So for a lot of cars, it actually makes sense to buy in Europe right now. So yeah, give me a follow if you want good stuff from Europe. Okay, let's get some twisties. It's actually perfect road for this car. Long, smooth bends. I can feel quite a lot through the steering. And although it's a heavy car, I think until you get to a certain point, it actually really grips because of that weight. The Nissan GT-R actually uses that kind of fact of being heavy to its advantage, because obviously weight means grip until you lose grip, obviously. So up to like 8/10, it feels like it's really grippy. Let's try and shake this car up a bit. You see, it's actually quite a lot happening for a 80s Ferrari, which is nice. So it seems quite tight actually. Okay, now we've got to quickly go slower because of a little town. Let's go. Turn it in. Yeah. Kick it down a gear. Come on. The good thing is that you can carry quite a lot of speed through the corners. No. Okay, so we just hit the GoPro because of carrying too much speed through the corner. God damn. Well, anyway, let's keep going. Let's keep going for now. Holy shit. What I was saying is you can carry quite a lot of speed through the corners, even though it's an 80s car, which is probably why Formula One drivers liked it back then. Good feel through the steering, really good steering. Response from the engine is also quite nice. It actually goes immediately when you press the throttle, it goes. Beautiful winding roads right here. So yeah, this is a proper Grand Tourer that's also going to be fun on a bit of a twisty road. It doesn't like the really twisty stuff, but these long flowing bends, it does really well. It does really well actually. It seems to be neutral around the corner, so it doesn't really oversteer or understeer that much. I think probably because of the heavy engine, it would probably understeer more than it would oversteer. And I think with the 3-speed, to get it to oversteer would probably be quite hard, maybe in the wet, but we won't try that now. So yeah, pretty impressive piece of kit for the 80s. I'm kind of curious, follow us to drive more 80s big cars like this and kind of compare it to the two. With this history, I think it's as good as it gets, because I just love stories like this. I love that I'm sitting behind the wheel, that a Le Mans winner and a Ferrari vice world champion Formula 1 was sitting behind this wheel, doing probably exactly what I'm doing right now, just driving through the countryside and enjoying and just listening to the sounds, looking at this beautiful interior. Yeah.
What a car, what a history, what a provenance. I'm really excited about this car. I did so much research. I've just been enjoying having this piece of history next to me. My first video in English. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This new audience, give me some feedback in the comments, ask me questions. These videos are going to keep coming now, so subscribe for more classic car content from Germany and Europe. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. Bye bye.